rework the air and to bring us in some drier and cooler air. But first,
climate change
that controls those air masses or separates them, and that will likely bring us some rain. So you'll likely get some rain, maybe even tomorrow, but also some showers on Wednesday. They'll be of the scatter variety, and they will not dominate the day. Those are not in association with the tropical wave.
Data from more than 16,000 state and local law enforcement agencies from across the country, which is more than 85% of agencies enrolled in the FBI's crime reporting system. The FBI report shows that murders and non-negligent manslaughter fell by nearly 12% from 2022 to 2023, marking the largest drop in decades. The rate of reported rapes also saw a significant decrease of over 9%, while hate crimes rose slightly by 2%. However, certain crimes, such as vehicle theft, rose by nearly 13%. Overall, the reports indicated that violent crime fell by an estimated 3% in 2023, while property crime declined by approximately 2.4%. The Pew Research Center analyzed U.S. crime trends using two separate Department of Justice data sets earlier this year. The analysis revealed that violent crime in the country dropped by 49% between 1993 and 2022. However, during the pandemic, the murder rate experienced its largest single-year increase on record. The FBI's report highlights crime as a significant issue in the 2024 presidential election, with the data reflecting a one-year period. Republican candidate Donald Trump says that crime is on the rise, aiming to paint Democratic rival Kamala Harris as soft on crime. Department of Justice's Bureau of Justice Statistics released its National Crime Victimization Survey earlier this month. It indicates that since 2020, violent crime has increased by 37%, rape by 42%, robbery by 63%, and stranger violence by 61%. The DOJ report indicates that violent crime has increased over the 3 years of the Biden administration. Trump has focused on crime and immigration as central issues, pledging harsh measures if re-elected, including the death penalty for traffickers and drug dealers. Vice President Kamala Harris has countered by emphasizing her record as a former California Attorney General and pointing to Trump's own legal challenges. These latest crime statistics in the United States are expected to influence the ongoing debate as the 2024 election approaches. Christina Corona, NTD News.
That happened, and I actually live right in front of the street where it happened, and so when I raised my blinds and started listening to the catering workers talking, that's when I realized apparently there was a scuffle between one of the catering employees and a man who either is or isn't involved with the catering company.
Now, according to that interview and when he went on and explained that the suspected shooter, according to him, fled this area, it's not clear if Emory police are on the lookout for that individual at this time. We were told from Emory officials that they should be giving us some sort of update, give us some more concrete details about exactly what happened here, but certainly been able to gather more for you as this continues to progress, and we'll have more coming up for you later on this afternoon as well. But for now, that's the latest here live at Emory. I'm Brooks Honor for Good Day Atlanta, Elise.
Yeah, that developing story. Brooke on top of that. Brooke, thanks so much.
September 11th. The Gwinnett County Police Department says they found his body earlier today. They do not suspect foul play, they say. The medical examiner will perform an autopsy.
New at 6, the GBI has asked for the public's help to help them solve a 15-year-old cold case in South Georgia. The GBI says Angela McCarty was last seen alive on September 23rd of 2009. Authorities found her remains 4 years later in a wooded area near Highway 110. Today marks the 15th anniversary of her disappearance, and the GBI says Angela's son and other family members want to know what happened. Anyone with information should call the GBI's tip line. You see it on your screen. It's 1-800-597-TIPS or 8477.
Well, more than 8 years after her death, the friends and family of Morgan Bauer plan to hold a celebration of life service in her honor. She disappeared in 2016 after she moved to Atlanta and began working at a strip club. Jonathan Alexander later admitted to killing her and pleaded guilty to malice murder, tampering with evidence, concealing the death of another, and necrophilia. The celebration of life will take place October 11th in her hometown of Aberdeen, South Dakota.
About this incident from police, they say this all started around 6:30 p.m. Police
were notified about an armed person experiencing a mental health crisis. Officers heard what sounded like gunshots coming from inside of a home on Meadow Rock Drive. From there, SWAT officers deployed, and also a number of other agencies responded to the scene here. Now, we do know that no officers were injured. We are told that there was one agent or one officer who had a defect in his duty belt, but otherwise he was unharmed. And again, no shots were fired by officers, but they are encouraging people to stay out of this area. Now, we spoke with some folks earlier here who say they heard what sounded like four gunshots, right, one after the other. That person said that he was just at the gas station nearby trying to get ready for work in the morning. Take a listen to what he said about what he saw earlier as all of this was unfolding.
Our immediate response was like, pow, 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 pow. And then, it was crazy. I was literally going to the store to get some gas for work in the morning. I was like, let me go to the gas station, get some gas. And then we was there, and then we heard the gunshot. And then it was just like, was that a car? But it was too rapid for it to be a car.
Yeah, so that was just one person who said that they heard and saw all of this happening. And so far tonight, we have seen SWAT officers here. We've seen the bomb squad out here, Gwinnett County Police, Clarkston Police, Lithonia Police, Stone Mountain Police, all helping with the response to this incident. And the police chief, we just spoke with her a couple of minutes ago. She said that right now they aren't saying much else, but that there is going to be a very, very long night ahead of members of this department who are responding to this. Now, right now, I think we are getting ready to hear a flashbang go off in this area. We were told and warned earlier that that sound there is the indicator that they are about to deploy an explosive device into the home here, and that we could be possibly seeing an aftershock or experiencing an aftershock of some kind. So we're going to just brace for that right now. But as you can see, it's a very, very active scene still here, and there have to be dozens and dozens of law enforcement officers here right now responding to this. Once again, a person experiencing a mental health crisis, that is what prompted this call. Police, again, inside, hearing the sound of what they believe may have been gunshots. They are giving verbal commands right now to the person who is inside of this home to surrender and to come outside. And again, an explosive device they are expected to deploy in the next few minutes if these warnings for him to come outside are not followed. But we will continue to cover this. Of course, like I said, there were no officers injured in this incident, and police say they did not fire any shots on their end. So just a developing story here, and we are working to learn more about how all of this unfolds. But we do know that the street is shut down right now. We've seen several people trying to get home, unable to get home because this entire street is blocked off. It is lined with police cars. And again, I think that we're going to be hearing that flashbang go off very soon here. But Chris, I'll go ahead and send it back to you.
Thank you, Joy. As Joy mentioned, this is still very much a breaking story. Fox 5 will update you on air and online and on our news app when we learn more. Make sure you have push notifications turned on so you don't miss a thing. You can also check out your other top stories and weather. And speaking of weather, a nice late summer early
on Meadow Rock Drive has surrendered to police. He is in police custody, and this scene is shortly going to be wrapping up. Now, this is after several minutes we heard police officers and SWAT officers giving verbal commands to the suspect or the person who was inside of that home to...
The shots erupted Saturday outside a hookah and cigar lounge. 4 people were killed and 17 others injured. They range from critical to non-life-threatening injuries. Authorities now offering a $100,000 reward for information on the shooter. Birmingham Mayor Randall Woodfin says the primary objective, quote, hunt down, catch, arrest, and convict the people who are responsible.
As heinous as this was, it was also one of the most cowardly things we've also seen. They're cowards. And I think we're at a point where we can take people who don't care about lives, have a reckless disregard for lives, and also adding that they're cowards to do this in the way they did off the streets.
Police believe the suspects arrived in a vehicle, got out and fired at people on the sidewalk. They jumped back in and took off. Police also believe the shooting was not random. The co-founder of OceanGate testified today about the Titan sub that imploded last year, killing all 5 people on board. What he says about the future of deep-sea diving.
Media was shocked Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners and illegal aliens.
Every transgender inmate would have access.
Kamala's for they, them. President Trump is for you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Has a spider web tattoo with the number 3 on his neck. If you know anything about his whereabouts, contact the Bibb County Sheriff's Office.
A Brookhaven woman is accused of a deadly hit.
We look at the hours.
The Carter Center likes the PAD program as well and has asked members of the Public Safety Committee to continue funding. They just completed a recent study of the program.
According to this data, 70% of those surveyed support alternative response models. 73% of respondents support expanding these services, with 59% believing funding for these programs should come from tax dollars and public sources.
Now, late this afternoon, the Public Service Committee decided, yes, we'll move forward with funding some $850,000, and that will last until the end of the year. Reporting live from downtown, Angelique.
And then what?
Fox 5 News.
Angelique, thanks.
Back to the street.